Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about avoid women who try to emasculate men. So, one of the things that I've noticed in society these days is that it's all about, talking about your feelings and talking about your mental health and things like that, right? But one of the things about men is that, men should be encouraged to talk if they feel like it. Because most men don't work out their thoughts and feelings that way. Okay? So what I mean by that is that if you read a book called Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, what you learn is that men, when they've got an issue, when they've got a problem, they tend to either seek advice for that from a trusted friend or mentor, or they go into the man cave and they seek out the information from themselves, right? They go very deep into their minds. They kind of like almost like go into like a meditation, and that may be something like, because they may not literally go into like a man cave, they may not literally go into a room and do this, although they may do that. It may be that they go fishing, right? They go fishing, or perhaps they go and watch some sports, or they go and play a video game or something like that, and try to, and then they sort of meditate on the problem themselves while they're doing this activity. Or it could be that they just literally go into solitude and just have a good think and just sort of stew it over in their brains. So that's what men tend to do. But there seems to be in society these days this encouragement of men talking about their feelings and basically, I don't know, acting more like a woman, essentially, right? Because that's, I feel like, the picture that a lot of people get when you say, oh, you got to talk about your feelings. It's almost like, you can imagine them sitting all in a cafe and talking about how, how sad they are and things like that, and all the problems in their life. And, oh, so-and-so said this to me and it really upset me, right? You can, and often, and when you think of that, it's like, that's kind of like a lot of the time of what women do. They sit and talk about their feelings, they sit and talk about their problems, because that's how women process things. Okay, but a lot of men don't process things that way. Some men do. Some men really like talking about those things. That really helps them. But they would rather actually just seek a solution rather than chat about it. They'd rather, be given like a list of things in chronological order of what they should do in order to solve their problem, rather than talking about it and how it makes them feel and going into all that. They don't tend to want to talk about how they feel inside, when they've got an issue or a problem. They'd rather seek a solution, right? Or go into the man cave, like I said, and work it out for themselves. So if you get a woman who is trying to really, try and get it out of you how you feel, and it's making you uncomfortable, then she's basically trying to emasculate you, right? And you've got to say to her, look, this is just not how I process things, right? I need to retreat. I need to go into, I need to go fishing for a bit and just think about it for a bit, and I'll come up with a solution. I don't really want to talk about it right now. I don't want to discuss it because that's not how it works for me. That may help you, right? Yeah, sure, I'm here for you, if you want to chat, if you want to talk about how you're feeling and what you want, what you want to talk about, if you're going through a problem, because I know that's what will help you. But for me, I need to go and do this. I need to I need some downtime, basically, in order to process what's going on with me. So you really need to avoid women who are forcing you to try and talk about your feelings when you just don't want to, right? Now, it may be the case that you do want to, which is great. Like, if you're a man that does want to talk about these things, that's fine. That doesn't make you any less of a man. It just makes you someone who's got that personality trait of, I just like to talk about what's going on with me, right? But a lot of the times, men don't want to do that. And that's okay, right? It's okay to not want to talk about it. And I think that's just as important as, oh, we need to talk about everything. We need to get men to talk about their feelings more. Yeah, fine. Okay. Yeah, if they want to. If they want to. You shouldn't be trying to force them to do it. Right? If it makes you feel uncomfortable talking about your feelings, right, then don't do it. If it feels more comfortable for you to just go and sit in the man cave, whatever that may be for you, and stew it over and think about it yourself, that's great. Or if you'd rather seek out a mentor or a friend or a how-to on WikiHow on how to sort out your problem, and that's what makes you feel good, then do that. That's what I tend to do, because I tend to feel like I'm a little bit more masculine brained. I tend to want to seek a solution and be given like a 10-step process on how to solve something, rather than sit and talk about it. That's just one of those things, because we're all different. That's why I say it's okay for some men to talk about how they feel emotionally if that's what they want to do, because sometimes they may have a little bit more of a feminine brain, and that's just how they process things. So it seems like in society these days this is an issue, right? Of we need to get men to talk, but we shouldn't, only if they want to. Okay, only if they want to talk. We shouldn't be trying to force these things out of them. Okay, I know plenty of guys when they were teenagers, that you'd be best to just, if you wanted to, it was like talking to a stone, basically, like talking to a brick wall, because that's just not how they deal with things. And they get frustrated when you're like, oh, please talk. What's going on? How was your day? What's caused you to be this upset? Men get more frustrated when those things happen, and I've seen it. I've seen it happen with, I grew up with brothers. They don't want to talk a lot of the time. They'd rather just figure it out themselves, right? And my brother, he's really got his life together, and he didn't ever need to sit and talk about his feelings, right? He worked it out himself, and a lot of the time men like that. Men like to work it out on their own. They don't want help, right? Now, sometimes we may need help. Sometimes men may need help. That's why they go and seek out a mentor, or that's why they go and seek out solitude in the man cave, right? Because that's what helps them. That's what helps them resolve things. And sometimes we may need to encourage men to actually do that. Instead of encouraging them to talk, encourage them to have some solitude, or encourage them to find a mentor. That's what we should be doing, right? We can give them the option of both. Like, okay, do you want to talk about this? Or would you rather just find some advice online, or find a mentor? Or would you rather just, have some solitude? Would you like me to leave right now, right? And give you some space, right? That's one of that if a woman said that to her husband, she would probably get the biggest kiss out of him ever, or the biggest hug, because a lot of the time that's just what he needs, just that option. Like, would you just like some time alone to think about this, right? I don't think a wife has ever said that to her husband, right? But if she did, she would get so much love out of her husband. Because I think sometimes what women, wives and girlfriends get worried about is when a man retreats, they falsely believe it's because she did something, right? That she did something wrong, when actually that's just what he needs, right? Men tend to go into the man cave to resolve things, and they need that space. They need that time to stew over it, essentially. They just need that time to think, okay? And they don't always want to talk about it. Because one of the big issues that I've seen with relationships is men wanting women to think like men and act like men, and women wanting men to act and think like women. But that just doesn't work out. But once we realize our differences and what women need, like, for example, to talk about their feelings, and what men need, like time to retreat into the man cave, or just one solid solution to their problems, then there'll be so much more harmony in romantic relationships these days, right? So you don't want to be around women that try to emasculate you, but also you need to make it very clear, because sometimes it can be very hard to articulate what we need, right? All we feel like is, I just need to be alone right now. I just need to be alone right now. And sometimes we may come across harsh when you say that, right? You may come across as harsh to your woman when you say that kind of thing. But ultimately, that's what you need. So it's all about communicating our needs in a way that is understandable. So it's like, you could say something to your wife or girlfriend, something like this. Look, I just need some time to just think over what I'm going through right now. I don't really want to talk about it, if that's okay. I just need some time alone. I just need like half an hour to just sort of think about this. But I promise I will come back. Right? And we can talk about anything that you want to talk about then, right? Something like that. And women could do a really good job with their men in saying, would you like to talk about this? Or would you like some alone time and have a little think of it by yourself and just give yourself some space? Would you like some space right now? That's how we could handle that situation. But of course, though, with women, though, they love to talk about their problems. That's how they resolve things. If you think of women and their brains like a ball of wire, right? The more they talk about things, the more they talk about their problems, the more that wire gets untangled, and they feel release. They feel a release. They feel relief as well. So what men could do is they could say to their wives when their wives have got a problem with their girlfriends, they could say, would you like to talk about this? Would you like my help? Would you like me to help you solve this? Or would you like to just talk about it? What's going on? Right? And then really listen and really be present with her when she's talking to you. And that will be very beneficial to your wife. And she'll want to give you a big kiss because you've understood her feelings and you've given her the option to really talk about this and try to solve it. Okay? So be very wary of women that are trying to emasculate you, trying to get you to act more like a woman. Okay, because that's what society seems to want to try and do these days. That's why you see, like, in like The Simpsons, for example, like Homer is like a completely incompetent idiot, basically. It's the same with like the father in Modern Family. He's like an idiot too, like who doesn't know what he's doing. And it's always the wives that are like more masculine and know what they're doing and stuff. I don't know why these sorts of things are being pushed, but they are. So yeah, it's just one of those things you just got to look out for, and just be wary of, because it seems like a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows are trying to put out this false narrative of how men and women should be or how they are, and it's kind of sad, really. Like there's so many archetypes of men that are being thrown out there that just aren't good role models, like Homer Simpson, like the dad in Modern Family. It's just not a good way to go, and it's just showing that society is trying to emasculate men in some way, and you kind of need to fight back with that in your own personal life by doing the things that I suggested. A great book that you can read, again, like I'll go over it again, I think I've already mentioned it in this video, is Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus by John Gray. Great book on the subject, great book on the topic, and it shows you how to communicate with the opposite sex and also to understand yourself and what your needs are, so you can help communicate what those things are to your spouse and to your partner. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.